Hello, everyone. Now that there is a calm in the tech world and I have time, I will share my thoughts on Cold War. I'll go and start with the positives before getting into the negatives. I appreciate that they are finally putting the percentages or numbers to the attachments in the attachment page. It's a great change from Modern Warfare, which was just plus or minus. So, yes, it will certainly reduce how much testing is needed to actually figure out a gun's stats. Perhaps the only other positive that I can point out with Cold War for now, anyways, is the wild card that lets you put more attachments on your gun. I felt that Modern Warfare was too restrictive with the attachments. With the way the mechanics were in Modern Warfare, it could support more attachments due to the nature of the mechanics. For example, um, hip fire is affected by how long the barrel is. Right there is a balance. If you put too long of a barrel on the weapon, then you have poor hip fire. There's other areas too that I can point out, but my point is that that's a step in the right direction, being able to have more attachments. Okay, as for the negatives, I know it's going to be a minor nitpick, but I've expressed this opinion numerous times over multiple recordings with different games. But in my opinion, games need to stick to a theme or timeline. It's hard to get immersed into a game that doesn't have that kind of like background, I guess you can say. To me, this is just another shooter. There's no real immersion because of them being all over the place in terms of how they planned the game. It's just like what we were seeing with Modern Warfare. I'll go and explain. So, when I heard there was going to be a new Call of Duty, I was thinking it was going to be Vietnam era, but then it turned out it was Cold War. Well, that's going to be two very different time periods. We're talking 55 to 75 for Vietnam and 47 to 91 for Cold War. Then to further compound the confusion, there's just guns in here that I felt were out of place, like the AK-5. I did Google this. It's a Swedish version of the FNFNC, licensed version that is. So why would you put a very low number gun into the game if you're going to be talking actual Cold War? You're going to want to use weapons that were mass produced. That doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense too. They call it the XM4 in the game. It's an M4 obviously, but by giving it the XM4 name, then that means it's a test rifle. The M4 did not go into um, service, or at least was service ready until 91, which is very tail end of the Cold War. You can see the list of weapons here. I felt they could have done a better job than this and not be all over the place just like they did with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Certainly, they could have picked better weapons too. Overall, some of them make sense, but some of them don't. In summary, I think that I need to see more of Cold War, but as it stands, I feel like they're doing the same thing Modern Warfare did, which is just out of place in terms of theme or timeline. I get real tired of seeing that with games, not just with the Call of Duty franchise, but other ones as well. New World MO, for example, I did a recording on that, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of others that I'll have over the course of my recordings. But for now, that's all I have to say about it. Thanks for listening.